Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? But can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
What's up, party people? It's a Thursday edition of Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by our great friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Anthony Hartwig alongside Mr. Ty Bartell, like always, here to entertain you, inform you, and maybe give you a full course meal. Probably not.
Yeah, as we're looking forward to start of playoffs for football coming up tomorrow, and
more divisions and regions to talk about for that too.
yeah, we just, I believe, have just one more, and that's just Division 7. And I think we were talking a little bit through D7 yesterday as well. Actually, to talk about that, let me just double check. Yeah, we talked about the JFK matchup, as that was 3 versus 14 with Monroeville. We talked about the Lowville Malvern matchup, and then I think,
I tell you, yesterday just kind of meshed together and flew by.
and then we have Valley Christian, and I think Cuyahoga Heights, I believe, are the ones we have left. So that was the last one where we talked about a little bit. I think we got cut off because we had a coach's interview, but Valley Christian and Cuyahoga Heights is the last one we have to talk about.
It never seems like me and Ty are just flying by the seat of our pants. Sometimes we are. No, we love what we do here, and we have a great show planned for you today. We had coaches scheduled, and I should say we'd have coaches scheduled. I used the past tense for some reason. We do have Tom Sigreed confirmed, the head coach of the Louisville boys basketball team at 1:15. Can't give you a time, but we are expecting Aaron Agresta, the head girls basketball coach at Valley Christian, and their defensive coordinator. So we can also ask him about this playoff matchup as well, as he's trying to kind of think about his head coaching gig in the winter, but still focusing on football.
Yeah, absolutely. And being able to pick him up late, too, this week was something that we were kind of excited for. And, I mean, it was just something that kind of popped up, and we were kind of lucky to be able to try to get him on today.
Yeah, we just full disclosure, we had Francis Shelley from McDonald. We already promoted that, but, he has a new baby. And sometimes
Stuff comes up with that.
Sometimes that takes precedence.
Don't worry, McDonald fans. We are working eagerly to get Coach Francis Shelley on the show, though, too. But we understand with a new baby comes a lot of new things that you have to take care of. So we are obviously wishing Coach the best, and hopefully nothing too serious, but hopefully he gets everything taken care of with that. And we wish him and his family all the best with that. And we'll be looking to talk with Coach Francis Shelley again real soon.
It's going to be real fun to talk about the McDonald boys program that is going to be looking to be just as successful as they have been in years past this season. Ty, yesterday, one of the things that we did get to do right off the air, we were able to talk to Jody Bartlett about that win on Tuesday night and what to expect from the district championship game against Chardon on Saturday. I want to kind of debut that interview now, and since it's fresh off the mind. So here is our recorded interview with Jody Bartlett. We did this literally right after the show went off the air yesterday. So enjoy hearing from the Fitch volleyball coach about their big win on Tuesday over Aurora. Anthony Hartwig, Ty Bartell here with a Coach's Corner episode. featuring Fitch Volleyball with Jody Bartlett. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
And boy, do you have a lot to be excited about. What a win last night.
Yes.
Come back from 2 down. You win the match in 5 to get to the district championship. Talk about kind of what it took and what you saw from your team.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on in the beginning. We started off really rough. Honestly, the way that match started out, I really thought that we were going to be done in 3 by the way we started. We just were kind of off in the beginning, and we weren't playing like we normally do. But we had a good talk in between sets, and the girls knew, it was now or never, and they really stepped up when they needed to. And all the girls, whether they were on the floor, off the floor, they were all excited, and just, what a difference in our overall play from the beginning to the end of the match.
And Coach, there's no doubt, I think this team has made the volleyball and Austintown community so proud throughout the course of the season. I think they have a lot to be proud of, again, about what they did last night. Talk to me a little bit about the attitudes of the girls on the team, because obviously you need to have some pretty good ones being down 2-0, not to let that beat yourself up and come back and winning that. So just talk to me a little bit about the attitudes of the team and how important that's been to this season.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something I have stressed. The girls know, the ones that have worked with me for a long time. We talk about the mental part of the game and how important that is, and just not getting frustrated and getting down, with yourself or with your teammates when things are going wrong. And that's one thing they don't do. They don't get mad at each other on the floor. They don't yell at each other on the floor. They encourage each other. And when we come into that huddle, I say what I need to say. My other coaches say what they need to say, but the girls speak up, and that's awesome. I have captains and not just the captains, the other girls too, that are always chiming in and saying what we need to do. And there's a lot of respect on this team amongst the girls for one another.
It seemed like in the 3rd set, there was a switch flipped with your serve receiver. All of a sudden, you guys were passing really well, getting right in the system. And that's one of the reasons why you guys were able to come back. Talk about what it took to kind of refocus yourselves and get your offense in the system those last 3 sets.
Yeah, and that's, every time that we would come together between sets or in timeouts, that's what we kept stressing, that we needed to be able to pass the ball to run the offense. And our serve receive was really off those first 2 sets. It was much better, towards the later part of the game. I think, just as we got better at, moving to the ball, there's a lot of the players from the other team had float serves, which can be very difficult to read and pass. And we had a lot of miscommunication, I think, early on, but they stuck with it and they did what they needed to do.
Talking a little bit about it, and I mean, I know as well as you do, there's been some phenomenal volleyball players that have come through Austintown Fitch. Talk to me about and put into perspective just how special of a season Jocelyn Jordan is having, breaking yet again another record, her own record, 33 kills, I believe, in that match. Just an incredible season.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. She, and I don't know if a lot of people realize this about her, but she had not even played the position she's playing right now for me until this year. Prior to this year, she was only a middle hitter. She was only strictly playing front row. Even in club volleyball, I believe she, strictly plays front row. I don't know if she got any back row time or not. And I know she was used in different positions across the net. But to be able to come out and be a 6 rotation outside hitter and be, as consistent as she is on defense. And she's just such a smart hitter. She knows, how to mix things up, and she's very confident. And she doesn't, when she does make errors, she knows if she's going to be aggressive, she will have errors, and she just keeps pushing forward. Luckily her errors are not, she doesn't make too many, thank goodness.
And one of the things that really helps her out is you guys have a balanced offense, multiple weapons that you can go to. Talk about some of these secondary hitters, your Afton Robies, your Alyssa Leskovacs, and the offensive players that kind of take the pressure off of Jocelyn and make sure that it keeps defenses honest and they can't always double team her.
Yeah, that's something we are so fortunate to have. Some teams may only have one primary hitter that they're going to repeatedly, and as the match goes on, the girls get wore out. With our team, we have Alyssa Leskovac is definitely by far one of the smartest hitters that I've ever had. I know her size in comparison to Jocelyn, she's not as tall, but she hits that ball really hard. She's strong. She's smart. She has really, really good court awareness. And then Afton Roby and Julia Jordan, They both have done a great job this year. They're also real smart about where they're placing the ball. And then Jordan Smith has been playing with us in the tournament. She was a JV player all season. She sat the bench for me, but she's really earned her spot to be in there, and she's doing a nice job swinging as well.
Talking a little bit about that, and I think that's part of the reason why you guys have been able to stay successful for as long as you have, is introducing those younger players and getting them that valuable playing time. How valuable do you think the playing time Afton Roby and Jordan Smith have gotten down the stretch is going to help them throughout their high school careers now?
Oh, definitely. I mean, just the pace of the game, the speed of the game, and those girls do play in the off season, so they see really good competition in the clubs that they're in. But yeah, absolutely. And I know if I see a player and I know that they can handle the pressure and they can get the job done for me, then, we don't think twice. We put who is going to be our strongest out there.
Talk about the time being a dividend this year. I mean, I've said this multiple times. Aaron Burks come on as the new setter. But, man, last year, especially in that tournament game against Perry, she had to come in and play.
Yep.
How much do you think getting that experience and being able to win that game last year in that tournament really helped her not kind of be intimidated by what she had to do this year and the responsibility she had as a starting setter?
Yeah, she definitely, because she's been under a lot of high pressure situations, obviously, and she definitely holds her own. And she stepped up last night when we needed her to. Her defense towards the end was really good. Her serve was real aggressive in the end there. And yeah, she did a great job for us. In her position, a lot of times the setters get overlooked. All the glory comes from the hitting, but they don't think about, everything that goes into that setter running all over the court and how hard they're worked the entire game. So she did a great job.
I know you were there with me, Coach, and we got a chance to preview a little bit of that Chardon team when they were playing Glen Oak. From what you saw in those 3 competitive sets versus the Eagles, what did you see from Chardon that you're going to have to kind of be aware of going into this matchup? And what are the things that you are trying to exploit without giving away too much of the book?
Yeah, well, I definitely think, they're going to be, obviously very strong offensively and defensively. I think both ways. Their setter was really strong. Did a great job on defense, did a great job putting the ball up, hitting, and not just one hitter, but they had, one standout hitter I definitely saw, but several girls that could hit the ball, and their serving was aggressive. So, we know we need to work on our passing. We have to play defense first so that we can run the offense.
We saw a handful of videos or highlights of that last kill that won the match for you guys. And, man, would that atmosphere get loud all the way in Solon. Talk about how important the support that you're getting far away in Solon is to winning on Saturday, and how important it was to winning last night.
Oh yeah, we have a great group of parents and fans that were there for us, and I know that I saw some videos that were posted out on Twitter that somebody had taken, and I can hear them all yelling, and it's just awesome. Having that atmosphere and those girls yelling, the kids and parents yelling for the girls obviously is just going to get them hyped up and help them stay in it. So we're encouraging everybody to come out on Saturday. The more people we can get, the better. Walking into that gym as Chardon was playing before us, they had a real big support system, and there was a real good atmosphere there for them. So we're hoping we can get a lot of people to come out so we can do the same.
Just saw they're putting together a spirit bus. So if you're watching, sign up for that spirit bus.
Yes, absolutely.
Talking about buses too, I'm curious on how the bus didn't get run off the road after that game, and you guys were celebrating it all the way home. Talk to me a little bit about just the feeling it was for the girls, just confidence wise, and what did that do in helping them believe in themselves and buy into the program even more, knowing that they can come back even down in the trenches, down 2-0.
Yeah, I think because I know there were many people, like I said, there were times myself, I really thought this may be it. And a lot of people watching thought that, and these girls, proved that wasn't the case. And we had, we did a lot of, we had a lot of good discussion in the huddle, like I said, prior to them going back out and telling them you have to believe it. They know, I'm always harping on them about that, about the mental part of the game and the sports psychology. And, the stronger the players can be in that mindset, the better they're going to do. And sorry, my lights just went out in my room, so it got dark in here.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's going on?
I know, and I'm clear across the sensors on the other side of the room. I can walk over there and get it to come back on if you need me to.
I think we're good.
Are you okay? Actually, that's better. I got some natural light coming in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going to get back with your team tonight for the first time since that
Yep.
win. How do you kind of balance the message of, yes, we kind of won last night, it was exciting, and we came back and we believed in ourselves and all that, with this, we got to play better against Chardon. Like
Yeah, well,
in that
and even
moment.
last night towards the end, there was a timeout. We came together, and I can't remember what the score was. I think we were only ahead by 4 points, and the girls, they came in, they were excited, they were celebrating, which was awesome. But like I told them, we don't celebrate too early. We've got to keep working for every point, and that's the mindset we have going in today to practice. We know, and we talk realistic as much as we hope that we have that victory. We're realistic about, we know if they're a good team. It could, there's things that may not go our way, and we have to mentally prepare for that also. But I really, I believe in the girls, and I know they believe in themselves, and I'm hoping they bring it again on Saturday.
And like we said, and this is my final question for you, Coach. You've seen a lot of great teams come through, Fitch. You've seen a lot of great players. Every year we know each team is special, and you can't really compare them to one another. But looking at this year, what makes this particular group of Lady Falcons special?
You know what? I think the fact that we were able to win the conference, go 8-0 was awesome. And this group of seniors was the first group at the middle school to win the AAC title there also. So I know that means a lot to them. That's really special. And, these girls have been together for a long time. So, I just think that in itself, just, knowing that they're the first group to accomplish that as long as I've been around.
My last question is, obviously this is kind of new territory for volleyball, getting so much time in a gym between games. You get plenty of time to kind of prepare for this district championship game on Saturday. What's kind of the game plan for these 2 days and handling the new time and really preparing yourselves for Saturday morning?
Well, we have our gym time, obviously, but we also, the girls, work with our strength and conditioning coach, Coach Wedding. And I know some people know about him, but I think a lot of people don't know about him. And he's a huge part of our program. If it wasn't for everything he did for these girls, they wouldn't be jumping as high as they are and hitting the ball as hard as they are. So they still will see him. They'll go to him today. They'll get a good lift in today. They'll see him again on Friday. Usually before a game day, they won't do a lift. They'll do yoga, which is, gets them stretched and good and ready. And as we come in, we always do the fundamentals every single day. They know, we need to work on serving, serve, receive, or, or hitting all the basics. A lot of times we'll break the girls up into different groups, and setters will do one thing and hitters another and blockers. And so we'll definitely, get all of that work in. And then we always end with playing each other, and they work each other, and they're real aggressive with each other, which is what we need.
I got to say, last night your serving was one of the reasons why you won. So continue that serving pressure. I don't care how good offense is. If you get them out of the system with your serve,
oh yeah,
then you're in good shape. So always impressed with the team serving, and I hope that continues on Saturday.
Yes.
We wish you the best of luck, and maybe next week we'll be talking district champion.
I hope so.
We hope so as well. We'll be talking to you again real soon, Coach.
All right, thank you.
That was our conversation with Fitch Volleyball head coach Jody Bartlett that we had yesterday after their big comeback victory on Tuesday night over Aurora to punch their ticket into the district championship game. And Ty, we talked about this matchup all day yesterday. You were there, but just to really pound it home, Fitch is heading into this Chardon game on Saturday with a lot of momentum.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, credit to the Falcons and what they were able to do in an impressive comeback too. And like Coach Bartlett said too, when Aurora was able to get ahead, float serves are one of the reasons they were able to do so, and they were able to command those. And for those who may not know what a float serve is, and for those baseball nuts out there, compare it to like a knuckleball. It's kind of like a knuckleball. It's weird in how it moves. It stays in the air a little bit longer than anticipated, and it can be hard to read sometimes. And Aurora was doing a great job commanding it.
I don't know if you never really get a respect for how balls move on a serve unless you're sitting like from the point of view of the player. So you're sitting behind the action, which is a dangerous place to sit for volleyball. But until you're back there, you never really get a really respect for how much the ball really moves. I think a lot of casual fans just think, okay, they go back there, hit it as hard as they can, get over the net. That's all the serve really is. But man, there are so many different kinds of serves, so many different ways you can attack people. And a float serve's tough. It moves. It moves on you. Sometimes it slides. Some float serves drop at the end. Some float serves can go like left, right, topsy turvy. It just
Like I said, it's compare it to a knuckleball in baseball. I mean, it's a pretty fair comparison in the way it's an awkward movement and it's an unpredictable movement and it's one that can be very, very hard to read. And Aurora, the thing with the float serve is you just got to keep it in bounds. And Aurora was able to do it and attack Fitch hitters pretty well on it as well and find some open hardwood.
You know what I think the one is the nastiest? They're those jump serves that dive at the end. So they're not just straight up hard jump serves. They're almost like sliders where they're going. Oh, it's going to be out. And then just drops at the last second. I don't know how they do that to a volleyball, but it's just ridiculously hard to receive.
Just like a baseball, man, there's different ways you can spin it, different ways you could hit it. It's incredible too. And I mean, it just goes into like sports philosophy, sports psychology, and sports science more or less. And just the way you could just hit a ball just slightly comes off of your hand just a different way will make it do some of the weirdest things, and the way you could command it too.
And you do all that. You
do.
have to hit it over the net and in this little area, or you lose the point.
It's like baseball, man. It's very similar to pitching.
I mean, like, imagine if baseball, you gave up a run every time you threw a ball.
I mean, yeah, similar. Yep.
We're gonna keep talking about volleyball because Fitch is in a district championship, but last night several teams joined them and punched their tickets to district championships as well. I was in Columbiana. I got to see Western Reserve hold off a very furious comeback from Brookfield. Brookfield's a strong team. They were missing a couple of their starters. Unfortunately, the sickness bug came through Brookfield, and they were dealing with that. So they were down a couple of starters, but it didn't stop them from fighting Western Reserve tooth and nail. They were down 2-0. They lost the first two sets in pretty dominating fashion. Western Reserve won both of them 25-17. So it looked like, man, Blue Devils on their way to a sweep. Let's just get out of here. But Brookfield had other plans. They win set 3, 25-17. They win a absolutely insane set 4, 30-28. But then I think, Ty, they used so much energy to get through that fourth set. They just didn't have enough gas in the tank to win the fifth. Western Reserve wins it 15-8. And avoids the upset with the 3-2 win over Brookfield to advance to the district championship.
And credit to the Lady Warriors for fighting, and I think that just gives you a lot of hope for them going in the future. Just to see that this young group of girls that had to step up too, were able to step up and fight a very dominating program in volleyball as well. So I mean, credit to Brookfield and what the Lady Warriors were able to do this season.
Brookfield was really balanced. They got kills from Hackett. They got kills from Lauren Shingledecker. They got kills from Anna Reichert. They were a very balanced offense. No one had a unbelievable night as far as numbers go. They were just kind of, you get 8 kills, you get 7 kills, you get 10 kills. They were very well adjusted. They set pretty well. I think the one thing that hurt them is their serve receive, and we keep saying, but Western Reserve had back-to-back aces in the fifth set while it was competitive. I believe it was actually an 8-7 lead for Reserve, and they had 2 back-to-back aces that made it 10-7. Obviously with 15-8, they ran away with it from there.
Yeah, and I mean, credit to Western Reserve too. I mean, being able to stop the comeback, and that's very hard to do after you're up 2-0 and a team takes 2 straight on you. All the momentum's in their court. So to be able to take that back is a very hard thing to do. And you could tell Western Reserve's one of those teams that's been there and done that, experienced in the coaching staff and experience in some of the players there too. Oh. And they were able to thwart the comeback.
We have a phone call on Running Point. So we're going to take, oh, geez, it's a loud screaming beep. That's not good. I don't know what happened there.
Called you, Ant.
Oh God.
That's what Patrick Mahomes is hearing right now. Now that you're sporting the gear,
I'll take it right off the show.
I need to give it to you a little bit since Scotty wasn't here this week.
Here's Ty. Ty's off. Ty's on FaceTime today. I've made an executive decision. No, that's not cool, Ty. Back to what we were talking about. 3 Blue Devils have double doubles in the game. Olivia Hughes had 18 kills. Lisa Eichert had 15 kills. She had a double double, and then Gianna Paris had a double double as well with assists and digs. So they played good defense. All 3 of those girls, really the team as a whole, played really good defense in the back row. So Western Reserve will go to the district championship game Saturday at 1:00 at Columbiana. Ty, the question is, who are they going to be playing? It was a matchup against Mineral Ridge and Newton Falls, and it was another 5-set thriller in Columbiana. It was a late night for anyone that was going to watch both the games. Mineral Ridge came away with a 5-set win. The scores there: 27-25, 22-25, 25-20, 15-25, and 15-12. The Rams escape a thriller with Newton Falls and advance to face their conference rivals, Western Reserve, in the district championship.
This is going to be an interesting matchup, too. And I mean, the Rams have a very good chance, too. I mean, after coming off of a 5-set victory of their own, beating a very good Newton Falls program, this is going to be an interesting matchup, and one I'm excited to see.
You know, they got swept twice this season by the Blue Devils, so it's redemption time for the Rams. They can wash away all that bad memory with a win in the district championship.
Absolutely. And, hard to beat a team 3 straight times, so we'll see.
Perfect segue, because Girard found that out. It is really hard to beat a team 3 times. They had themselves a knockdown, drag-out battle with Lakeview, but Girard comes out on top. They get their 3rd straight victory over the Bulldogs, 3-2 in Jefferson to move on to the district championship game. Your scores in this one: 23-25, 25-23, 17-25, 26-24, 15-5. Girard gets the 5-set victory. They move on to the district championship as well, and they're kind of flexing their muscles a little bit.
And I think it was the same case too, because correct me if I'm wrong, Lakeview wins set 4, 26-24.
No. Lakeview won sets 1 and 3.
And it seems
scores of 25-23, 25-17. Girard came back after getting beat up in set 3 and won set 4, 26-24.
And I think that was the problem, because I think set 4 was supposed to be it for Lakeview. I think if Lakeview was to win that one, they had to finish Girard's set 4, and they were right there to do it. And I feel like by that time, by the end of set 4, all their energy was expelled. That's what I was trying to get at, is that win or lose, actually, it doesn't matter. I think by the end of set 4, Lakeview had given everything they had. They were trying to get that victory in set 4, and I feel like it was kind of disheartening, because I feel like they thought that was their chance to end them, and Girard got that win, got the momentum, and that momentum they were able to ride it all the way to the victory in set 5.
They were right there. It was right there. They had a big win in set 3. They were probably feeling the momentum. Props to Girard, man. They came out. They win that close one, 26-24, and then they put the foot on the throat in set 5. No chance of a comeback, 15-5 in set 5.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see how Girard and they're able to keep on rolling with this offense. I mean, they were able to escape another one, and hey, this team's looking pretty good. Let's see if they could keep rolling.
Big test on Saturday for Girard, as they will advance to play really the big boys of Division II in this district. They've won it a couple of years in a row, Notre Dame Cathedral Latin.
Yeah, and this is going to be a great matchup too. And Girard, I think, has a very good chance at coming away with a victory here, but you're going to need to be strong on offense, going to need to be even stronger on defense, serve, receive especially. We know Notre Dame Cathedral Latin is going to bring it in that serve game.
I got to see them play once this year, and then I was looking at their scores, and I was told by a source that halfway through the year they got someone back from injury, and then all of a sudden their scores got ridiculously impressive for Notre Dame Cathedral Latin. They were able to beat a couple of Division I teams like it was nothing. We'll look at the real quick the score of that NDCL game to get them to the district championship. They beat excuse me. They beat Perry, which is not Maslin Perry, but Perry, Ohio, the Perry Pirates, not to get confused with the Perry Panthers. Notre Dame Cathedral Latin beat them 3-1, so 4-set victory for them. That was 23-25. They dropped the first, and then they just rolled with it. So I don't know what happened in that first set, because after that it was 25-9, 25-12, 25-11. Notre Dame Cathedral Latin woke up. They woke the Lions, and they advanced to the district championship to play Girard. That'll be Saturday at 1 o'clock at Jefferson High School.
Yeah, and that's going to be another one of those matchups getting deeper into these playoffs, man. We're going to really see what teams are made of. Some big games over the weekend, and we're starting to see how competitive they really are. A lot of 5-set wins we've seen now.
Yes, actually, 3 5-set wins last night in the district semifinals from Ysn teams. Want to give a shout out to West Branch for an incredible season. They came up short over Mineral Lake Catholic, who was the 3 seed in Division II, in 3 sets, 25-9, 25-13, 25-23. Really tried to fight off that third set and force a fourth. They just couldn't muster up enough energy. And the Warriors fall to the 3rd seeded Mineral Lake Catholic in straight sets. That district championship is set now for Lake Catholic and Marlington to play each other. That is the 5 seed versus the 3 seed in that district championship game.
Marlington is a pretty good program too, so that's going to be a great matchup.
What makes you really scared is they're the 5.
Yeah.
Marlington, we've seen how good they are.
They've been able to beat Fitch. One of Fitch's 3 losses came against Marlington, and that shows you that's a pretty good program over there.
Tells you how legit Division II is as far as the talent pool.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So some other teams that are breaking their way into the district championship game. Crestview gets to their 3rd straight district final with a sweep over East Palestine. The scores were 25-10, 25-6, 25-12. And the Rebels are looking for their 3rd straight district championship in Grand Valley.
Yeah, and you know what? This was a case too where the Lady Rebels just made sure they went out there and they took it. And it's looking for an interesting matchup now for Crestview. But hey, they've been looking dominant all season, and they look dominant once again.
Lucy Montgomery led the Rebels with 16 kills. Grace Hour had 22 assists, and Emily Downey led them in digs with 7. And the Rebels will play Middlefield Cardinal in the district championship, a matchup of 2 reigning district champions. Last year, Cardinal was in the other part of the super district, and they won their district championship, and Crestview won the other one. So something's got to give. 2 reigning champions playing in this district championship in Grand Valley on Saturday at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, and this is going to be one where it's going to be, I think, a battle, absolute battle, and it might be one of those 5-set slugfests if they're not careful. So I'm going to be
they'll be standing in high ground because Crestview's only lost 3 sets all season long, period.
Yeah.
Those were 2 to East Liverpool and 1 to Brookfield.
It gets harder late in the season to beat teams. And I mean, it goes both ways though, too. So, I mean, Crestview's going to have their challenges. I'm just curious to see if they're going to get that challenge yet and get that 5-set drag out, because they've never been in a 5th set yet. So that's
they have once.
One time, excuse me, because they lost 1. And I remember
East
now.
Liverpool pushed them to 5, and Brookfield pushed them 4. But other than that, they've lost no other sets all season.
Yeah, and this is going to be another interesting thing, is who can take a set from Crestview.
Another impressive win into the district championship game goes Wellsville. They get the win over Ashtabula St. John in sweeping fashion. The scores were 25-15, 25-11, 25-11. And Wellsville, like Crestview, kind of just taking care of business in their way through this district championship game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Wellsville is one of those teams we expect to be very good and very hard to take down, and proving so once again with another dominating victory.
Yeah, and the Tigers look poised for another deep tournament run, as they are a very well-balanced team with a lot of people that can do a lot of different things. We saw Presley Stokes, who's the co-freshman of the year this year, along with Alana Amato and Emily McNichol. There's just so many superstars on that team, but they still have some work to do in the district championship game. You look at who they're going to play, and this might be kind of a surprise. Jackson Milton comes out of this district as the 9 seed and gets themselves a win over the 6-seeded Southern Indians to advance to the district championship. The scores 25-21, 25-18, 25-11. So pretty dominant sweep from Jackson Milton over Southern to get themselves in this district championship game over Wellsville.
And credit to Jackson Milton for being able to fight through and get another victory and get their way to this position. Going to be an interesting matchup now with Jackson.
Because here comes Jackson Milton is a team in this matchup that has nothing to lose. And they have some talent. They have some serious talent on that team. You look at Chelsea Williams, who does a great job setting, is a great server. They have a freshman libero in Grace Johns that is just playing extremely well. Mia Greco is just a fantastic athlete that we've seen kind of play really hard this year. So this could be a sneaky good matchup for Wellsville. Their schedule, they have to play who's in front of them, but it's been dropped in a couple of good teams here and there, a couple of really quality wins mixed in with teams that Wellsville has been able to dominate.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got to remember, Jackson Milton plays in that Scarlet division of the MVAC, and it's a pretty tough division. So,
as far as strength of schedule, I would give the edge a little bit to Jackson Milton. They have to play Middle Ridge twice. They're in a district championship. They have had to play Western Reserve twice. They're in a district championship.
McDonald's not a pushover team.
Who was the 4 seed? I don't want their stumble in the first round of the playoffs to be a marker on how good McDonald was. They just one of those times a young team didn't show up for a tournament game. It happens. It doesn't take away from how good McDonald was, and Jackson Milton had to play them twice as well.
Yeah, absolutely. McDonald in the regular season was a very, very good volleyball team, and I mean they showed it again. So yeah, I think Jackson Milton has faced those tough teams, so this is going to be a challenge, I think, for Wellsville. Going to be interesting to see how the Tigers are against Jackson Milton in this.
That one will go down in Lisbon on Saturday at 1:00, an all YSN district championship, and we're guaranteed a team in the regionals.
And that's always exciting too. So we're happy for that as well.
We have 2 of those in Division 4, actually. The Columbiana district came down to Middle Ridge and Western Reserve, and the Lisbon district's coming down to Wellsville and Jackson Milton. And we have a team in each division in the district championship game. So we have a lot of chances to see a lot of teams in regionals. Hopefully we go 5 for 5.
Yeah, that would be absolutely exciting if that was the case too. And if you're talking about that, I mean, we're looking at 5 teams that I think realistically they can go 5 for 5. I think looking at all these squads, I think it's very, very realistic that they can go 5 for 5.
So we'll just recap where everyone's at and when they're slated to play. Fitch will be playing at Solon High School against Chardon in the Division 1 Solon District Championship game Saturday at 1:00. Go down to Division 2. Girard will be playing Notre Dame Cathedral Latin 1:00 at Jefferson High School District Championship game. Go down to Division 3. Crestview will be playing Middlefield Cardinal in the Division 3 Grand Valley District Championship game. Also in Division 3, Garrettsville Garfield will be playing against Kirtland in Medina Saturday at 1:00. They got the win over Lake Center Christian last night to advance to the district championship. So Garfield's in there. And then in Division 4, I should say 6 teams because Garfield makes 6. So in Division 4, Middle Ridge versus Western Reserve. That'll be at Columbiana 1:00. And then, of course, Wellsville, Jackson Milton that we just talked about. That is also Saturday at 1:00 at Lisbon High School. So you got 6 teams in the district championship, and we have 6 chances to get into a regional.
It's going to be absolutely exciting, and hopefully we go 6 for 6.
We're guaranteed 2, so hopefully we do a little bit better than 2 for 6.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get that other 4. Let's go.
So that being said, we will kind of wait with much anticipation for Saturday as we take our first break of Running Point here on the Thursday edition. We will take a time out. Be right back on Ysn Live Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin Town.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends: shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, shop with confidence knowing we're ready to go the extra mile for you. With the largest selection of used vehicles in the Valley, backed by the Greenwood Advantage Warranty. Every one of our vehicles has undergone our own 126-point inspection, so it passes the most important inspection, yours. No other dealership has the extra inventory, gives you extra for your trade, and goes the extra mile for you. Only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
For a great vehicle and a great experience, come to Boardman Mitsubishi today. As always, our full lineup of Mitsubishi models comes with a standard 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Boardman Mitsubishi, your hometown Mitsubishi dealer since 1999.
Coca's Pizza, always supporting our community and our local athletes. Stop in on game day or score big and have it delivered right to your door. Check out our daily specials at cocaspizza.com. That's Coca's Pizza, we serve it hot.
At Hubbard Chevrolet, Hubbard can help you get the financing you need, regardless of your situation. I'm Tony Page, and I've helped thousands of customers in Northeast Ohio and Western Pennsylvania buy a vehicle. Visit HubbardChevy.com to get pre-approved. Remember, folks, Hubbard can help.
You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University and proud.
Man, doesn't that YSU commercial get you fired up? As a well, I know Ty's not a YSU alum.
Yeah, what a question to ask me,
loser. No,
you want to question my allegiance to my? I'm not actually that too serious about it. It's a
Y and proud, buddy. That was a V.
Yeah, what do you do?
How do you do a Y with your hands? I don't know.
I'm all just get your education, kids. That's all we're here to tell you at YSN.
Don't go to University of Georgia.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Sure. If Anthony wants to bar you from one school, I'll allow one school. But get your education though. Go anywhere you need to get your education.
What school would you bar someone from?
Would I bar someone?
Like if you had to pick one school, be like, do not go here.
As far as like sports, I mean, if I'm not gonna say Michigan, why would I say anything else? I'd say either Michigan or I'd say probably like Alabama. If I could just bar people from going to Alabama for football, that would be fantastic too.
So we just got word. I believe you had the communication that Aaron and Gresta will be tomorrow at 1:45. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. And this is going to be a jam-packed Friday for basketball. And it's going to get you excited for November and December Friday nights in the Valley with Friday night basketball.
If I'm not mistaken, that's going to be interviews from 1 to 2, like straight up, just boom, 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 boom.
Yep, we're going to be all over.
We better pick those games fast in the first hour.
Yep.
Boom.
Yep. Good thing is, I mean, it's not as heavy of a game schedule for us too, so it's not as many games as we've been picking, but there are still teams that are playing
19 playoff games on YSN this week, combined with Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, we'll get them picked.
We'll get them picked. We will definitely get them picked. Of course we will. We're Anthony and Ty. We can do anything on this streaming show because it's our show. We can't do anything as this, whatever. It's Thursday, which means we have some matchups to talk about as well. Marquee matchups of the playoff edition, Ty, and I think one of the more interesting ones absolutely is Brookfield United in Division 6.
Yeah, I think so as well. And you know what? This is a case too where, I mean, with a little bit of extra time we have too, we get a little bit of time to talk about these matchups a little bit in depth too. And this is, I mean, talking about it, I mean, I think it's just going to come down to that line for Brookfield, and it's going to come down to the balanced offense for United and which one's going to win. Because if Brookfield's winning those trench battles and they're able to get that penetration on United's line defensively, that's going to be the biggest thing. Is, I mean, you need to win at least one of them, at least pass coverage or run coverage. You need to beat the block in some way, some form. And United, they're not afraid to do a little bit of both too. And that's the thing with what makes United so unique is that they're balanced. They're truly balanced everywhere, and they could kind of do everything, and they sit with whatever they're doing well for that night, and they're able to win ball games.
I think I don't want this to deter people from buying the game because I don't want it to sound like it's going to be not exciting. I think it's going to be very competitive, but I think it might be the lowest scoring playoff game on our network this week. I mean, these two defenses are going to go at each other. They're going to slow each other down. I wouldn't be surprised if it's somewhere around the realm of like 17-14, 20-17, something like that. I would be shocked if this game got into the 30s, with both teams getting in the 30s. Now, obviously, things can happen. You could have one team blow out the other and make it like a 35-7 game. I don't think that'll happen, but I really don't think that both teams will be getting into the 30s and we'll see a game like 35-31.
How's the weather looking according to our WFMJ Storm Tracker for tomorrow?
Hey, let's look at our partners over at 21 WFMJ and their Storm Tracker app. Their forecast for Friday, 100% chance of rain.
Exactly. And that's what I was thinking. I wanted to make sure that our friends were saying that. I thought that's what I saw as well. And that's put a damper quite literally on the passing game.
Both these teams are run first.
Yeah,
can throw the ball. They've definitely proven that. And so can Brookfield. Both really good quarterbacks.
Here's what kind of makes this matchup more interesting. That's what makes United so unique, is that balanced offense. Do they continue with that balanced approach and still try to pass the ball, even with that 100% chance of rain that's expected tomorrow? that's going to be interesting for United if they're able to continue with that kind of balanced approach on offense, or if they're kind of forced into a run-heavy type of offense. Because if they're in a run-heavy type of offense and Brookfield's defensive line's having a pretty good game, I think this is one where the Warriors can definitely keep up with the Eagles. And what some might think is might be a little bit of a gap of a matchup, I don't think so at all, especially if United kind of has to be one-dimensional. That makes this a whole different kind of game to look at now.
If you're looking at a positive note for Friday's forecast, it is showers but no thunderstorms. So we shouldn't be seeing any like danger lightning delays or anything like that. Just solid rain, which can be fun football. Go out there and play in the elements. Get dirty. Get the teams that are going to wear all white are going to be my favorite because you'll know they worked for their win because they're going to be just nasty, muddy, brown, and they'll look like they're playing for Cleveland.
Yep, absolutely. And that's the whole type of old school type of football. You love those mud bowls.
Another thing to watch out for: the rain is supposed to start tomorrow morning in the early hours, and then just kind of go all day with chances. So field conditions coming into the game might not be great either, because it's not like this is going to start raining at 7. It's going to be raining kind of all day. So it's going to get, especially these grass fields, going to get kind of muddy, going to get kind of slippery. So that really hurts. I know this is going to sound weird, but I think it can help the pass game too, because remember, secondary players have no idea where these receivers are going. They just have to try to keep up with them. That's hard to do when you can't keep your footing in a wet grass field. So we might see some wide receivers kind of slip out of coverage and break open because a cornerback falls down or a safety falls down. That can be big plays, because I don't care how wet the football is. If your guy's streaking down the field wide open, that's an easy throw.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's going to be interesting to see too. And defense is key. We always know come playoff time. So it's going to be who can really withstand the elements and come back with a better game plan.
That makes me interested to look on Friday and see how many of these games are being taken are taking place on grass fields compared to turf. I'm going to pull up our schedule. I'm pretty sure I know who has turf and who has grass. I guess we'll be tested with that. So Friday, your game, Hurting Fitch, that's turf, so they won't be affected by field conditions, just the rain and trying to hold on to the ball. Canfield, that's turf, they won't be affected. Hubbard, that's turf, they won't be affected. West Branch is a grass field, so CVCA and West Branch, that's going to be, oh man, if you thought it was hard to guard their receivers in dry weather, Drew DeShields might have a field day against CVCA. Canton South at Ursuline, that's turf. Salem has turf too, right? So that one won't be affected. Beaver Local, I don't know. I'm guessing because they moved to Glenville. I don't think they would move to somewhere that didn't have turf. I think that would be kind of silly. So I'm just going to assume that game will be on turf as well. And then you have Poland at Fairless. I don't know if Fairless has turf or not.
I feel like they might. I could check on that. I believe it's turf. Yeah, I believe so.
So yeah, so Fairless is turf, you said?
I believe so, yeah.
So that'll be fine. Most of the games on Friday night should be okay as far as field conditions. West Branch, though, never know. Never know.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting too. And yeah, I think West Branch, it'll be fun to see them play in a mud bowl too, just to give them a little bit more of a challenge or a different thing to work through, as West Branches already feel like they've answered all the challenges that they've been faced with. I feel like it's just another one for them to answer to.
Mother Nature found another test for West Branch because they've passed all the normal ones. So Mother Nature is like, rain.
Yep, and we'll see, as the Warriors probably most likely are going to be able to pass the test again, as they've been able to all season.
Here comes Mother Nature next week with gust storms.
Yeah,
pulling out tests out of the hat. Snow.
Oh my God, snow.
Later in the playoffs, we could see it. Later in the playoffs, you never know if West Branch makes a deep playoff run, they could have to deal with a playoff game in the snow. It's not
A
unheard
snow
of.
bowl.
Ice bowl is what we would call it, Ty. Snow bowl, that sounds like snowball. And ew.
Snow bowl, ice bowl.
I prefer
Gotta have an ice bowl in the ice house.
I prefer chili bowl or taco bowl. Or,
Yeah, I'm sure you do. You prefer the chili bowl or taco bowl snuggled up and watching it at home and not being in the
ice is no bueno. Because shocker, I don't have all-wheel drive. So
you don't have that feature yet?
I'm working on it.
Maybe in the 2022 model.
Scotty has it,
Yeah, Scotty's got the 2022 model already. He got it early.
Scotty's way ahead of me as far as wheelchair technology.
Yeah, Scotty's got everything he needs. He's taken care of well.
We're gonna have Scotty back next week. That's gonna be good. I miss that guy.
Yeah, it was unfortunate we couldn't get Scotty on this week, and gonna be exciting. He now has another week of things. I'm sure he's gonna fester up to.
Well, he's got 2 weeks of questions. You're in trouble.
He's gonna come at me with hard trivia, and he's gonna come at you hard with Chiefs hate, and I already know what to expect from Scotty, and it's gonna be 2 times as worse or 10 times worse, I think, for both of us. So I'm ready for some hard trivia questions, and you better be ready for some Chiefs hate next time he's on.
Scotty's not allowed to hate on the Chiefs because the Chiefs beat his team.
Yeah. Well, you could say that, but he's still gonna hate on the Chiefs.
He can do all he want. Like, we beat you, bud. Like, well, if you're saying we suck, then that means you suck more. So
he's gonna. You know, Scotty plays by his own rules, Anthony.
Scotty does play by his own rules.
Scotty's gonna say what Scotty wants to say.
Oh man, back to on track because we just went the Brookfield United game, whether it's raining, and it probably will be. I'm thinking this game gonna be down to who can control the run game more. Because I think even in dry weather, both these teams are run first, pass second, and they both have quarterbacks. They can throw the ball, so you can't sleep on that. Pawlowski can definitely throw the rock, and so can Grant Knight, or whoever United decides to put back there, because they've had a couple of players step up to the quarterback role.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's going to be interesting to see what each team's able to do as far as stopping the run. We said that Brookfield, it's going to be that battle in the trenches for them, and just seeing if United can stick with that balanced approach on offense. I think that both of the keys to the victory is, can United stay balanced on offense and unpredictable, and can Brookfield get penetration on that offensive line and win those trench battles?
And, I do have to say, we're talking about Friday night, and I'm just kind of embarrassed because I totally forgot that I thought it was just straight up evens on Friday, odds on Saturday, but it's just 1 through 4 on Friday, 5 through 7 on Saturday. So Brookfield United actually playing on Saturday night. But that forecast, according to our partners, not much better. Still a 70% chance of rain on Saturday. So all that conversation stays the same for Brookfield United. Is just a reminder that to everyone that it is on Saturday night, not on Friday night.
Yeah, and I mean, it's still going to be that matchup. It's going to be one of those still going to be those keys to victory.
Who's going to make the playmaking plays? That's my big question. Like, I think this game is going to come down to someone having to make game-winning plays, and both teams in this season have had times when they've had to make them. Brookfield a couple more than United, and they've either been able to make them or haven't been able to make them. They've gone both ways.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's going to be the biggest thing is, Brookfield, facing their challenges late in this season, but I think it's going to make them stronger. And United, I think, hasn't looked as strong as they quite did against Southern too. They answered, I think, everybody's questions about it, winning the EOAC, emphatically beating Southern up and taking it and taking the crown, and United looks as strong as ever. So this is going to be an interesting matchup. Now, did Brookfield with that victory finally get back on their feet? Are they back to the way of old, where they were able to compete with Springfield and that really knock them down, drag them out type of battle defensively in week 2 of the season? Or are we going to see kind of those struggles we were seeing with them when they faced LeBray? It's going to be interesting which Brookfield shows up. Like I said, it's going to come down to that trench battle to really start setting the tone, I think, both offensively and defensively on both sides of the line. I think for Brookfield, that's where it's going to set the tone on both sides.
Look, I really don't know what side is going to win this game. I haven't made my pick yet, and I'm still struggling with it. But I think this is going to be so close, and so both teams have an equal chance to win it. And it's what, 6 versus 11, right?
No, this is 8 versus 9.
This is 8. This is straight up 8-9. Okay.
Yeah.
But and another thing, I don't know if Southern just kind of walked into that game or just thought that they would beat United easily, because last year Southern was kind of the class, even though it was a 3-way tie because of COVID. But man, that Southern win was so impressive. Like,
it absolutely was.
Up until there, you could say, well, United's just been beating the teams they're supposed to beat. That, you know, they missed Valley Christian, but here we come with this Southern game. That was just, especially the defense, so impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Again, we said United, I don't think hasn't looked better than they have in these last 6 weeks. And I mean, honestly, it all started with that game September 17th against Latonia, where they shut them out. And since that game, since September 17th, United as an entire team has only allowed, let's see here, that's 43 points since September 17th. So in, what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games, they've allowed 43 points. Do the math on that one and see that is less than 10 points per game that United is holding opponents to, and that's pretty impressive.
Talking about United, this makes it very interesting because United is a part of this group of teams, and if I'm not mistaken, there's 3 of them that I can think of in our YSN family that have gone this season without their big name quarterback from last year and not missed any kind of beat. In fact, maybe you could argue look better. South Range, Michael Patron, everyone, he was a superstar last year, did so many great things for them. Now everyone is kind of like, okay, what's their quarterback situation going to look like this year? And Billy Skurpak has come on to the fray and has looked, just unbelievably really good. United, it was Grant Knight at the start. Then, they had a freshman in there a couple of times. Grant Knight last week. It's been kind of a committee thing, but they've never had a quarterback play that lost them games. They've been doing what they're supposed to do back there as a quarterback. And then Drew DeShields. Brock Hillier last year was just setting the world on fire, breaking records left and right. Now everyone was like, okay, well, what's West Branch going to look like without that quarterback? And Drew DeShields, pulling out the Superman kind of thing. I'm at a loss for words. It's cool to think about all these teams that lost quarterbacks last year that we were so high on, and for great reasons. And I think all 3 of these teams, maybe the biggest question mark coming into this year was, what's their quarterback play going to look like? And all 3 of them have answered the bell with really impressive quarterback play.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's going to be the biggest thing now, is that all 3 of them, having this opportunity too, especially where Skurpak and Drew DeShields are right now. That's going to be the most interesting, I think, in Division 5 and Division 4, respectively. I think both those teams, as the 1-seeded West Branch, 2-seeded South Range, have a real chance of making that noise and making that run too. And it's going to be interesting too, because if they're able to make that run, they're able to kind of put the cherry on top of the whole Sunday.
And this playoffs is the cherry, because, oh man, they've played really well in the regular season, but everyone knows that it's a cliche in sports. Playoffs are different. There's this little bit of edge that comes with every playoff game, because it's literally your season on the line every time you take a play. So I think that the last question these quarterbacks have to answer is, how will they show up in that big pressure playoff situation? And I expect all 3 of them to shine bright in the playoff scene. But I think that's like you said, that's the cherry. because they've had a really good regular season. They've set the world on fire as the new quarterback of their program. Now the cherry is just, I can perform well in playoff situations, because all three of these teams have been like kind of locked in the playoffs for a while. You could argue that United may be in the fringe a little bit. They had to play for a home field advantage. But West Branch has had they've had the 1 seed for a while, and they had a pretty big gap in the 1 seed. So they weren't really playing for their playoff lives. South Range has been locked in for a while. So now it's like, now they really get that high pressure of, if we lose this game, our season's over. So it's going to be interesting to see how all these quarterbacks are going to handle that kind of pressure situation.
Well, absolutely. And the competition stiffens incredibly now. So you're going to get those games for South Range. I guess the most competitive game you can look at for them is that Poland game. I think was one of the closer ones that they had to face this season. I mean, you're expecting that, but tuned up probably a little bit more. And that's going to be almost every week down the stretch once you get further into the playoffs. And the same thing for West Branch. Think that Howland game, think that Salem game. You're going to start expecting that a little bit more frequently. And yeah, we know these fan bases' hearts are going to need to take a chill pill, and because they're going to be skipping a beat every once in a while. But we know that competition stiffens, and hey, this is the time where boys become men.
Absolutely, and this is when we separate the good from the great. It's playoff time, and one of the other things, matchups I want to talk about as we kind of go on into this in-depth Thursday edition preview, like we always do. Man, Girard just seems like a team that can really go on the road and win this week.
They very well could be, and I mean they've looked very strong as the season's gone along.
They're getting healthy, which I think is the biggest thing.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think Girard really is. I mean, they're looking good down the stretch. They've been winning some key games. We mentioned the wins against both Struthers and Niles, respectively, against both teams that were competing for their playoff life. So Girard's already won back-to-back games that were high-pressure situations where Girard themselves, as well as both those teams, were fighting for playoff positioning, and Girard came out on top of both of them to secure their spot. So they've been facing these high-pressure games the last couple of weeks, fighting for their playoff life, and they've come out on top.
Those teams are so dangerous. Like, no matter what level of sport you're talking about, the teams that have been playing playoff games essentially before the playoffs. So you could argue this is kind of week 3 of playoffs for Girard.
Yeah, and I mean, Gilmore Academy is another one of those good opponents, but it's going to be a case where Girard, I think, they could be competitive in this one. I really do believe so. And you look at the good teams that they faced in this season. I mean, I don't think they were completely healthy against Poland and South Range, and you can see those scores were a little bit mismatched. But even then, I think competing too with Hubbard in that game, I mean, 29-15 was not a pushover for Girard. They were still competitive in these games. So I think Girard, now that the fact that they're healthy, we've seen what they've been able to do. And I mean, the only other mismatch game we've really seen was against Streetsboro, where I think the defense was just really young, needed some things to learn. And Streetsboro, they were competitive with Streetsboro. It was 35-35, I think, going into the third quarter of that week 1 game. Streetsboro had an
Streetsboro in the second half.
Yeah, explosion, and more or less in that like end of the third, beginning of the fourth quarter, like just an explosion of just turnovers and scoring for Streetsboro. But hey, winning against teams such as Liberty, winning against Jefferson, some competitive teams on the docket for Girard too. And they were able to win against them, as well as Niles and Struthers down the stretch. So this is one. Gilmore Academy is going to be a tough challenge. I'm going to be curious to see if Girard's offense can keep pace against their defense.
You know, once I've said it before, we don't have an Adam Scheffner for injury updates, unfortunately in high school. But I think a good note for Girard was we saw Tristan Valley back on the field. He didn't take a lot of snaps. You know, he wasn't the main guy, but he did get back on the field in week 10. So that tells me that he's on the mend. I don't know where he'll be as far as how much they can play him this week. But, you know, the healthier he gets, the better Girard's chances will be at winning games.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if Valley's healthy, I think they have a great chance in this one. And I think, honestly, this Gilmore Academy matchup is going to be a good matchup for Girard. I really think so. And Gilmore Academy with that 7-2 record, Girard coming in 6-4. So Gilmore Academies, they've won against some teams, a lot of similar records, 5-5, 4-5, 4-6. So nothing like, nothing that stands out with like an 8-2 opponent or a 9-1 opponent or something. So none of those like huge wins, pretty similar to where Girard is. I think this is going to be an interesting matchup, but I think Girard coming in as kind of the underdog, I think definitely you got to put upset alert next to them, especially if Tristan Valley's healthy, and they're coming in healthy in this one.
And the other thing you have to watch out for Girard is they have a program with pedigree that knows how to win in playoff games. So they're not going to be a team that is new to the playoffs or coaching staff that's new to the playoffs. Coaching staff knows how to win playoff games. The kids have seen what it takes to win in playoff games. And those programs can be dangerous as well.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's going to be what's going to be interesting.
Very interesting, because I was having that conversation with a couple of people last night when Newton Falls was playing, because Newton Falls upset McDonald to get to that game, and a lot of people didn't see that coming. And I said, hey, you know what? Newton Falls is a very historically proud and winning volleyball team that knows how to win in tournaments. Their coaching staff definitely knows how to win in tournament games. And they were going up against a McDonald team that was really – that was their third year of having volleyball at the school, period. So I think it was a team that was just more used to being in a tournament atmosphere versus a very young team that wasn't used to what tournament feels like. And that can happen with football too, where you see a team that, back in, what was it, 18, they went to the state championship game. So not far removed from extremely good playoff success. They know how to get there. They know what it takes. They know the standard. And that can make them very dangerous.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think that's what you always got to look for, I think, going into those type of games. And I think that's going to be what's interesting too. I think Girard, though, in this case, I think they're well suited, I think. And I think they can that definitely pull off the upset.
Girard will go as Michael Palmer goes. Kid has come on to the varsity level for the first time this year. He's making his varsity debut as a junior, 1,000-yard rusher already. So they'll go as he goes. He's a very strong running back, replacing a couple of seniors that they lost last year. And now he's kind of the guy in the backfield, and he's putting together a really incredible season so far. So if they can get him involved as well and get him started, and Girard will have a very good chance to win this game.
Yeah, I think so as well. And I think it's just going to be interesting. Like I said, the health of Girard is going to be the biggest question going into this one, I think.
Yeah, I wish we had hello, Girard. Girard, injury update. Thank you. And I'm getting texts right now from, Ty, why can't you put on your Adam Schefter hat?
Yeah, I know. I wish. We'll build to that. We're building to that. We're going to get there eventually.
Hey, brick by brick, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We're just laying the foundation. We're still building.
We're going to take another break here on Running Point. We'll be back with more talk about playoff matchups. And we also have an interview with Tom Siegfried, the head coach of the Louisville boys basketball team, coming up soon. That's all next on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Every customer has a story, and at Greenwood Chevrolet, we are committed to making sure it ends with you in the right vehicle. I get to be part of somebody's adventure, whether it's buying a car for the first time, helping them get approved, or finding the perfect car for their budget. I'm proud that people trust me with their finances. They trust me to take care of them, and they trust me with their story. I'm Tracy, and I'm ready to go the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Working with your family can be stressful at times, but because they're family, you know that you're going to get a loving, honest answer, even when things don't make sense to any problem. Dealing with Medicare can be confusing and overwhelming. That's why here at Myers Family Insurance, we do our best to give you honest and caring answers to all of your questions. Family, like Medicare, isn't always perfect, but when you put others first, the results can be amazing.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance.
It's storm season.
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
And Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
On air.
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
Online,
All right, let's talk high-res Futurecast and the timing of this weather.
on social media, and on our app.
Notice we'll have scattered showers on Thursday.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset this evening.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Jimmy Sutton here, Director of Isle, Purple Cat, and Golden String. We are happy to support YSN and two of my favorite people, Scotty Mincher and Super Dave O'Malley. We are an agency that provides services for adults with disabilities. We infuse humor, passion, and joy into their lives. If you know of any folks with disabilities that need our assistance, please contact us.
Your teams work hard and give it all they've got. Well, so does ours, because 21 Sports and YSN give you extra effort when covering local sports. 21 Sports and YSN, winning coverage of our Valley's teams.
Planning a project around your home or rental property? Trust the electrical service to the local experts with 62 years of serving the Mahoning Valley. Joe Dickey Electric is your local go-to source for responsive, reliable residential electrical work. From everyday maintenance and repairs to new installations, electrical upgrades, and safety inspections, no job is too big or too small. Call Joe Dickey Electric today, 800-549-3976, or visit DickeyElectric.com. That's DickeyElectric.com.
Dealing with Medicare can be confusing and overwhelming. That's why here at Myers Family Insurance, we do our best to give you honest and caring answers to all of your questions. Family, like Medicare, isn't always perfect, but when you put others first, the results can be amazing.
Welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin Town. Anthony Hartwig alongside Ty Bartell. If I choose to bring him in, no, I will. Even with that Chiefs crack earlier.
Yeah, I had to give you a little bit.
How dare you? Comment section brought to you by Boardman Mitsubishi is live. Whether you're watching on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, or Facebook, we would love to hear from you. Leave us a comment, and we will talk with you. You can also call us. The hotline is open, 330-886-0813. Just try not to make loud, annoying screeching noises. That would be great.
Yeah.
Again, we got that early in the show. That's why I bring that up.
I think that might have been a glitch gremlin that was screaming at you.
Maybe a glitch gremlin. Maybe
it's around that time of year, too. We know Halloween coming up. Yeah, it might have been a glitch gremlin.
Halloween on Sunday. Ugh.
Yep.
Maybe we should have a Halloween special tomorrow and come in costume.
Yeah. You already.
Can you imagine Running Point?
I could have got real mean with that.
Running Point opens and like Anthony's in like a Darth Vader mask and Ty's in like a stormtrooper or something. We're just like, welcome to Running Point. What were you gonna say, Ty? Say it. Come on.
No, I said you're already dressed like a clown right now. I have to keep giving you.
I cut you right off, son.
Until Scotty gets back on, I gotta fill his void.
You never even wear Patriot stuff. Like, let's just be honest. You're a Patriots fan. I've never seen you once in anything.
I don't think I wear much of anything for the teams I support. I'm not big into buying jerseys.
That's disgusting in itself.
I'm just not big into buying jerseys. Not a huge jersey guy.
I don't trust you anymore. We got more playoffs to talk about. Canfield, they're coming into a game where you're looking at the seeds and you'd think this is not going to be competitive, but you look at Notre Dame Cathedral Latin and the schedule they play. Hold the phone. This is a tough draw in round one of the playoffs for the Cardinals.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is going to be one of those things where can Canfield's defense answer the bell again? I think they should be able to. I think they've answered the bell against some of the best offenses in the entire area time and time again. And I think it shouldn't be an issue for that fantastic defense.
Yeah, for our listeners, run down Notre Dame Cathedral Latin's schedule again, so they can just they're 5-5 if I'm not mistaken, and the 13. This is 3 versus 14, right? No,
it is 4 versus.
4. I was right the first time. Never second guess myself. I should always remember.
Yeah, Notre Dame Cathedral Latin has played South, Kenston, Gilmore Academy,
seeing them
Walsh Jesuit,
they're in the playoffs.
Padua Franciscan, Villa Angela St. Joe's. It's everywhere. Just very competitive teams. As to programming note, we want to say too that Coach Siegfried has run into a meeting, and he is also going to be rescheduling with us, as Thursdays is just biting us right now with meetings and stuff. But hey, that's all right, as we just want to make sure, programming note, that Coach Siegfried has been in contact with us, and no issues over there, just a meeting that he's run into. But we will be looking to get Coach on for just to talk about the Leopards program and everything. So we're excited to have him on.
Better be a meeting with the president.
Yeah. Yeah. You go on. You say that. Go on and say that to him. Yeah, I'm sure. No, we're absolutely going to be excited too, as a little bit laxed on everything today, but we will be coming back at you with a bunch of basketball interviews tomorrow. I think we got four total so far. So
all from the 1 to 2 hours. So it's just going to be like boom, 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 boom.
One after another. So just expect another one after another one right after football picks in hour 1 and basketball
one
hour 2.
Another one.
So
another one. Yeah. Just call me DJ Khaled over here.
We're excited too to talk with Coach Agresta too, of Valley Christian.
That's gonna be a fun interview, because not only can we preview the girls' basketball season, but he's a defensive coordinator over at Valley as well. So we can preview the basketball season and have a dual conversation and talk to him about the playoff game.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's going to be obviously a fun conversation to have with Coach tomorrow, as well as we have a few other interviews that we've lined up now, I believe, for tomorrow, as well as Coach Gilbert. Did we say for tomorrow?
Yeah, Aaron Gilbert, the girls head coach over at Garfield.
Yeah, so that's going to be obviously another one exciting. I believe he's the one that's going to kick us off at the 1 o'clock hour. It's going to start with Coach Gilbert tomorrow, so we're excited to talk with them. I think we have how many? Let me double check our schedule real quick so we can get this properly previewed for you tomorrow. I know we have Coach Gilbert of Garrettsville Garfield girls. We have Coach Agresta of Valley Christian girls basketball.
We also have Will Franklin from East Palestine, their girls basketball coach, and Will Nieder, the girls basketball coach at Struthers.
So it's an all-girls basketball kind of day for Friday tomorrow, and that's going
to be for the girls.
Yeah. I mean, yep, this Friday, at least an hour or two of Running Point it is going to be. And
I feel like we can open the show with that.
Wait a minute. We got Garfield, we got Valley, we have Struthers, and we have, what was the other one you said? East Liverpool?
East Palestine.
East Palestine. So we have the EOAC covered, we have the MVAC, and we have the NE8 all tomorrow. So we have little bit of double dipping in the EOAC, and we get you a little bit in the MVAC and a little bit in the NE8 tomorrow.
I feel like we have to open tomorrow's show with that Martina McBride song. This one's for the girls.
Yeah.
Go
on, you sing it at the top of your lungs, Anthony, and you sing.
not my karaoke. No.
I want you to open up the show with
You tried to finagle me into doing "Where Are You Christmas" live on the show. I was like, this is not happening ever.
wearing reindeer antlers and a big red nose. That's it. That's gonna be it. That's the next bet. That's gonna be the next bet.
Good luck finding something I'm confident enough in to put that on the line.
That'll be the next gentleman's bet to get you to wear something and do.
You're gonna be in the studio tomorrow too, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Bartell.
Yeah, I should be for right now. I'm just looking at everything. So
could be. It's just all this non-committed stuff.
Yeah, no, gotta make sure everything's lined up with my studies too. Gotta remember, I gotta sacrifice days to get days too. So being at that Mill Creek day, I did sacrifice one day, so I had to make sure I get stuff rescheduled. So I gotta make sure that's all lined up too. Not that I still am making the show tomorrow, regardless. We're just looking at one thing too.
I don't know. Something shifty about you today.
what is shifty?
Oh man, 125 on the docket. We still have more playoffs to talk about, Ty, as we venture into round one of the playoffs tomorrow. We're gonna make our picks tomorrow, but today we're talking these matchups in depth. We've already talked a little bit about Canfield, Notre Dame, Cathedral Latin. Obviously, that's going to be a really good game. Notre Dame, Cathedral Latin cannot be judged by their 13 seed.
No, I don't think so at all. And I think NDCL is really in a case where they face that tough opponent all year, and they're going to face another tough one in Canfield. But I think the biggest key for Canfield is as long as that defense holds strong as it has all season, I think they're going to be fine. And I don't expect them to hit any bumps in the road with NDCL. As good as their offense is, I think Canfield's faced a little bit stronger of offenses this season.
Yeah, and then they just got to be saying, like, what's this draw about? Like, who made this happen? And obviously they can't point the finger at anybody because unlike every other sport, the football playoffs are strictly based on record and where you fall in those computer rankings. There are no backdoor deals with coaches and voting like every other sport or strategic voting. If you don't want to play someone, you vote them a lower seed, whatever it may be. So, the seeding in football is just straight up numbers and the strength of schedule.
Yeah, no doubt, and that's going to be the biggest thing. And you got to look at it, and it's just that's how computer points work. And it's a little bit of luck in the draw, I guess, too. And strength of schedule does have a play in it, as well as just what you played as far as up divisions and how many points you accumulated from that as well.
You know what, Ty? You have a pretty big game that you're going to be able to for the second week in a row. By the way, Harding Fitch. I feel like I'm on a broken record. Let's talk about this matchup. What kind of things are going to be different about it? What kind of things are going to be the same about it? How much do you think teams change between week 10 and week 11?
Well, I mean, Fitch essentially now we know played last week in Mollenkopf and won to play this week against Harding again, but at least it's in Falcon Stadium, Greenwood Chevrolet Stadium in Austintown, Ohio, and that's going to be, you would think, the biggest advantage, but you think back to the playoffs last year, and that's where it all ended as well. And we remember last year as Fitch winning in the regular season, losing in the playoffs because Harding made some good adjustments. I think that's going to be the biggest thing to look at. And I think the big other thing to look at, if I pull up the stats, if I can grab those stats again from that game, I think the one thing Harding did very well was run the football in that game.
Yeah. I mean, they were almost unstoppable on the run. That's one of the reasons why they won that game.
What I'm talking about this final game, this last game, week 10 of the season, just a few days.
I thought you meant last year's playoff game.
No, I'm talking about this year. Looking at what Harding did, let me pull up this box score and what I had for them. One in particular, Ryan Powell for Harding on 11 attempts, 96 yards. He lost 2 yards, 94 yards and a touchdown on 11 attempts. And that's a number that's going to definitely be concerning. And, you want to be able to look at it from both sides. That's going to be something the Falcons are going to need to be better at. Obviously, once the Falcons started getting a little bit of that lead, and you got to give credit to the Falcons, what they were doing. They were kind of forcing Harding into that pass-heavy offense because Falcons were able to, when they got that lead, they made sure that they extended the lead when they had the opportunity to, and kind of forced Harding out of running the ball just to try to save some clock and play clock management at that point. And the biggest thing for the Falcons, can they contain that run? And Dallas Jett is going to be an absolute stellar player. What we're going to see, or what we might not see, here's the big thing that was interesting in that regular season game. Both Dallas Jett as well as Devin Sherwood had a fumble that they lost and an interception. Dallas Jett just had 2. Are we going to see those same type of turnovers from these quarterbacks? You expect them to be sharper. You expect the defenses to be sharper. But the biggest thing is if it is raining tomorrow, how much does that affect the Falcons game and how much they can pass? How much does it affect the Raiders game and how much they pass too? Both Dallas Jett and Devin Sherwood, capable passers on both sides of the football, but both also are known to break out of the pocket and get yards with their legs as well. And then it comes down to the run game of both teams. And then we know Ryan Powell and Bryson Powell and all kinds of other guys that are over there in Harding are very good, capable runners that can get big time yards for the Raiders. And of course, on the other side for the Falcons, Tyree Mitchell, Cam Smith's had some time back there, DJ Williams, a nice group of backs over there for the Falcons as well. I don't know if I can give an edge to one side over the other. Both have very good backs and a good depth of running backs in their system. And I think what's going to be interesting to see too is how much the elements are going to play a factor in this one. Are you going to see the turnovers? How much of the game plan changes for both teams?
All right, so that's kind of do all the matchups will be talked about tomorrow when we pick them, but those are the ones that we've kind of decided is the marquee matchups, the one to really look out for. I want to remind everybody that we are moving on to a pay-per-view structure for playoff games on Friday and Saturday. You can pre-order those tickets. I believe sometime today they'll go up for pre-order. There are instructions on how to purchase on the page. You'll be able to navigate that pretty well. $9.99 gets you access to that game and every game on the network that night. I want to remind everybody also that if your team is playing in a regular season game that they picked up in week 11, those games are free. So those games will not be part of the pay-per-view fence that we're putting up. And those games, of course, are Sebring at Latonia and Columbia at East Palestine. Those 2 games will be free to watch, but all the other pay-per-view games will be $9.99 per night. So for example, if you buy that Harding Fitch game, you can also get access to the other 8 games on the network that evening.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's going to be the absolutely most exciting part of it too. And yeah, if you don't want to make it out to the game, or if you can't really get out to the game, and you can sit at the comfort of your home, you can buy the ticket to the YSN pass, and then all you have to do, bam, flip through every single game, and you have access to every game going on that night too. And hey, cheaper than a ticket to most of those games too, so you'll be able to get in and buy a ticket for YSN Live and see all the games going on and under YSN coverage for the night.
So we talked about football playoffs. We've talked about where the volleyball district championships are set. Girls soccer happens tonight. It's a big district championship night and some big matchups. We'll start by previewing this one between South Range and Crestview. The last meeting between these two was in last year, August 23rd, 2019. 2 years ago, actually. South Range won 5-1. You look at these teams last year. Crestview, they lost in the first round. South Range went to the regional championship. They were runners up to Kirtland. Both teams on 5-game winning streaks. South Range's biggest loss as far as most lopsided loss, I should say. Poland beat them 5-0. Salem beat Crestview 4-0. Biggest wins as far as goal margin. South Range beat Girard 10-0. Crestview beat East Liverpool 14-0. So Macy Schaefer has 50 goals for Crestview. Gabby Lamparty leads the Raiders with 29 goals. man, these two teams are so evenly matched. Plus 52 goal margin for South Range, plus 44 for Crestview. Total goals in the season, no total goals allowed, 22 for South Range, 52 for Crestview. 96 goals scored for Crestview, 74 for South Range. 13-7 for Crestview, 13-3 for South Range. It's going to be a big matchup between two teams that are old rivals. We've talked about this little rivalry that's been going on in girls sports for Crestview versus South Range in the last several years. Don't forget, 2 years ago, volleyball, basketball, and softball all came down to South Range versus Crestview for district championships.
Yeah, and I mean that seems like that's always the old rivalry that always comes back up in this area is Crestview and South Range, and it happens again.
Now it's soccer's turn in the girls' side of things, and man, it's going to be a really good one between those two as you look at it.
Yeah, no doubt, as we expect those two both to bring it. We know the history behind those two schools and that rivalry they have, and it's going to definitely be an interesting one again.
Absolutely. Some other matchups going on today as we look at the schedule. You will see. Oops, gotta pull it up real quick. South Range playing once again at Crestview. We have gotta pull up this bracket. Hold on. Ty, fill me. Tag team.
What do you want me to talk about? Just the matchups? What?
Just give me this 1 second while I pull up this bracket. It reloaded on me.
Yeah, I mean, just talking about that at Crestview South Range, I think that was the game that ended it in football last year too. And I mean, that just
it was. Yeah, I don't know
the rivalry, how deep it has been too for South Range and Crestview. And I mean, just to have that back again too, and two programs that have been very good in all sports, especially too, both South Range and Crestview. It seems like you see their names in everything, both whether it's volleyball, whether it's soccer, whether it's football. I mean, it's always these two programs, and I mean, good programs all the way down through every athletic program. And also proud to say that they were two of the first four cornerstones of the YSN team. So it's just one of those rivalries too that has deep roots in YSN, as well as it's going to be an exciting matchup, I think, between the Lady Rebels and the Lady Raiders.
You nailed it on the head, as you said. One of the first four, they absolutely are. Trying to look through here. South Range, that's Division 3. That's our only Division 3 district semifinal, as Crestview and South Range will play each other at 6 o'clock. The location will be. Things are not cooperating with me. It's going to be at Niles. So Niles tonight, 6 o'clock, South Range versus Crestview, Division 3. In Division 2, we saw Poland get the win Monday night over. They get the win over Mogador Field in shootouts, 6-4. They will play Kinston. That is the 1 seed in Division 2 versus the 9 seed. So a tall task for Poland, but they can do it. They've definitely been playing a lot of big teams this year. That game will be in Ravenna at 6 o'clock. So Poland versus Kinston in the girls' side there. And because Canfield lost to West Geauga in Division 1, I believe those are our only two district semifinals on the girls' side remaining. I mean, district finals, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be interesting to see if Poland and, well, we're guaranteed at least one to come out of it, South Range and Crestview, but Poland can make it 2 for 2.
Let's dive in a little bit to this Poland-Kinston matchup. These are all thanks to our good friends over at Steel Valley Soccer for this information. We definitely thank them. This is the first ever meeting between Poland and Kinston. Last year, let's see, Poland lost in the first round of field, so they already avenged that loss, and Kinston lost in the regional semifinals. Both teams are on a 5-game winning streak. Kinston does not have a loss in the season. Poland's biggest loss margin-wise came to Canfield 5-1. Their biggest win margin-wise came to Jefferson, 18-0. Kenston's biggest margin win came to Willoughby Eastlake North, 9-0. You look at the goalkeepers. Kenston has Melise Chalmers, who has 54 saves. Poland with Leanne Williams, who has 68 saves. Excuse me. The leader in goals for Poland is Mia Morantis. She has 17 goals, 9 assists. For Kenston, it is Lilia Cornell, 19 goals, 11 assists for her. The goal margin, 83, plus 83 for Poland, plus 67 for Kenston. Goals allowed, 15 for Poland, 10 for Kenston. Goals scored, 98 for Poland, 77 for Kenston. Kenston is 16-0-2, and Poland is 15-2-1. So really could be a very fun matchup in Ravenna between these two teams.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's going to be taking place quite literally, just in my backyard. And it's going to be, I'm sure it's going to be loud and rocking in Ravenna when
you're going to go to your screen door and be like, I can hear the cheers.
You probably could too. It's literally not too far from here. And I hope that they both do bring it too. And you know what? Hopefully Poland does come away with it as, it's offense versus a little bit better on offense versus a little bit better on defense. It's going to be exciting.
I think it shows you how deep Division II really is. I mean, you look at these two teams' numbers; they're almost the same, but their seeds are so vastly different. Poland being the 9 seed, and Kenston being the 1. You look at their record: 15-2-1 for Poland, 16-0-2 for Kenston. The goals scored is almost the same. Goal margin: Poland has the edge; they've won by more, so they've been a little bit more dominant. I mean, just that Canfield game is really Poland's only really quote unquote bad loss. I believe they lost the first game to South Range 2-1, and then beat South Range 5-0 in the second matchup.
Yeah, and that's going to be the biggest thing too, is that can they get that first loss over on Kenston is going to be the biggest question. I mean, yeah, they've been pushed to their limit a couple of times, Kenston has, but no one's been able to take the crown. And sometimes it's a little bit more pressure defending an undefeated streak than it is going in there with a loss on your record.
We will definitely be keeping an eye on those games tonight. You'll be able to stay tuned to YSN Live, especially our social media platforms, for final scores and graphics. And then, of course, later tonight, the recaps and stories on ysnlive.com. Head over there for all the information on the girls district championship games tonight. We're excited. The boys will be playing on Saturday. We said it, Saturday is going to be the busiest day in local sports because we got boys soccer district championships, volleyball district championships, and then football playoff games.
Yeah, and that's all exciting too, and we're definitely gonna be a busy Saturday too if you're a sports fan. So be paying attention to high school sports all around you.
So once again, 3 teams and 2 games for district championships tonight: South Range versus Crestview and Niles, and then Poland versus Kenston. That will be in Ravenna for that one. While we get the time, we have some time. I want to take a look at the Baird Brothers Big Dog of the Valley voting, because have we been impressed with YSN Nation and how they're showing up for these communities? Man, they are just killing it on these votes. Let's get a live look at where we're at as far as the totals for volleyball and football. We like to pit them against each other. Volleyball is at 165,691 as a total. Football is, drum roll, come on, load for me, anticipation, and it boom pops up. Football is at 138,021. Volleyball has taken a commanding lead, but we know with this voting, it is not over.
To take a 10,000 vote lead too, and Friday's going to be a football day, I feel like. So volleyball is going to have to vote a lot to try to curb the votes that are going to come in for Friday night football. And Friday and Saturday both are going to be big nights for football now.
So let's total these. 16591. Let me get my count. 16591 plus
They've definitely
138021.
They're definitely over 300,000 now.
138 021 plus 165. They were at 303,942 votes total.
And still climbing. They're definitely going to be able to get to 500,000 votes. I think there's no doubt.
Holy smokes.
That's absolutely insane that they're already at 300,000 votes and still climbing. And that's great for these student athletes too. And what an honor it's going to be to win Big Dog of the Year, to know that many votes came in for you.
If you're living under a rock and somehow you don't know who the nominees are, I'll just run through them real quick so we can get more people on there to vote, maybe more people interested. You'll look at it on the volleyball side. These are the players of the year, which is basically the players that have won for the 7 weeks of Baird Brothers Big Dog in the Valley. Excuse me. You have Sammy Kelly from Lowville, Grace Hill from Beaver Local, Presley Stokes from Wellsville, Julia Rapp from Columbiana, Alyssa Leskovac from Austintown Fitch, Brooke Talbot from Beaver Local, and Lauren Shingledecker from Brookfield. For football, DJ Williams from Fitch, Blaze Exline from Salem, Stephen Mara from West Branch, Drew DeShields from West Branch, Austin Klein from Beaver Local, Shane Lindstrom from South Range, and then Anthony Dimma from Garfield. So those are your 14 nominees, 7 on each side. You can head over to ysnlive.com/bigdogs to vote. Voting is unlimited and ends Sunday at midnight. I want to emphasize that because we have been going for Saturday, but we figured since the month ends on Sunday, we'll just push it to Sunday.
Yeah, and get those Halloween votes in too. After you get those, after you take the kids trick or treating, you can come back in and get the votes in too. Vote for your favorite Big Dog of the Year for both football and volleyball. Get your final votes in before the final ones get tallied up.
Screw that. This go to your houses for trick or treat. Be like, hi, vote.
There you go. Just tell everyone.
Tell everyone to vote.
You get a piece of candy. Here's a vote.
Instead of a piece of candy, I'm handing out votes.
Yeah. Every time you hand out a piece, there you go. There's another vote.
It's like the kid on the Peanuts Halloween special. I got M&Ms. I got Hershey candy bar. I got a vote instead of a rock. I got a rock. Yeah. I got a vote.
But no, that's gonna be. I can't imagine how much more voting they can put up, and I think they're gonna definitely reach over 500,000.
Like I think they can do better than that, man. I think they can get to like 650.
They definitely can. If they have some big days and big nights too, I feel like Friday and Saturday is gonna be huge.
It's only Thursday, and they have until Sunday. Like this is nuts.
Yeah, absolutely. And
our servers have not broken yet.
I can't believe it either. They're doing fantastic.
Our wonderful friends over at iSynergy putting together a great website that can handle the massive amounts of votings that is on. Look at Quinn. You can't see him on the camera, but he's looking snazzy today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, wait till you see him on the Power Hour. He's got the khaki pants.
He's excited. He's coming in.
He's getting into coaches mode. That's what he's doing.
He's big time now. But no, we're excited too. And speaking of coaches, again, we want to preview that we're going to have 4 girls basketball coaches on tomorrow, dipping into the EOAC, MVAC, as well as the NE8. So it's going to definitely be an exciting day tomorrow for Running Point.
Oh yeah, and we once again we want to alliterate. If you are watching, hoping to see Louisville head coach Tom Siegfried, he had to reschedule last minute. He will be at a later date. He ran into a meeting. Also, Coach Francis Shelley from McDonald was also scheduled for today. So if you're trying to find his interview, he had to reschedule for next week as well. So when we get those locked down, we will definitely promote them. As for tomorrow, just to reiterate who we're having on for people that are just now tuning in, I
will actually confirm too that Coach Francis Shelley has now been rescheduled to Tuesday at 12:40. So you could find Coach Francis Shelley this upcoming Tuesday on Running Point at 12:40 is when Coach Franciscelli's been rescheduled to.
Awesome. So we can confirm that. So as far as tomorrow goes, starting at 1 o'clock, it'll be Aaron Gilbert, the head coach of Garfield girls basketball. Then we will have Will Franklin, the head coach of East Palestine girls basketball at 1:15. At 1:30, we will be talking to Will Nieder, the head coach of the Struthers girls basketball program. And then at 1:45, it'll be Aaron Agresta, the head coach of the Valley Christian girls basketball program and their defensive coordinator. So that one will be a fun interview where we can try to fit as much as we can in the last 10 to 15 minutes of the show. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, no doubt, and we're going to be excited to talk with all the area coaches tomorrow and have.
We're going to be interested. We're going to be interviewing them like this. Can you answer this question really quick?
Just
There's so much I want to ask him.
Huh?
I have so much I want to ask him.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot.
You sound like an auctioneer answering these questions.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's what you're going to have to come out to tomorrow. You're going to have to speed run them.
Cool.
But no, it's going to be a great day tomorrow on Running Point.
It absolutely is. And then, well, don't forget that's our second hour. Our first hour is going to be full of me and Ty picking these playoff games and hopefully joined by fans like we are on Friday nights, picking in the comment section or leaving completely random posts that I have no idea where they're coming from and confusing the host so much from YSNJ and
YSN Scully is my favorite one still.
I hope we get a repeat appearance from YSN Scully. Where are you at, man? I miss you, YSN Scully.
Yeah, Anthony really took a liking to YSN.
I would be
time here.
If he popped up right now, yeah, let's go.
YSN Scully makes an appearance.
Who's the other one? There was Jay Scully. There was one more.
I don't remember all of them. I just remember Scully.
I remember Irishman because he's always on the Hubbard train. Sorry, Irishman. By the way.
Yeah, Irishman doesn't like you anymore.
I don't think you
disgrace the team.
We haven't heard.
Yeah, he's done with you.
I'm sorry, I picked against you in the hunt, but they should blame you because you're the one that drove it to week. You're the one that drove it to week 10.
Hey, I put you're the one who paid the pick, buddy. You're the one who made the pick.
But I'm not the one that said let's do it week 10. You did. So
I'm the one who made you put the shirt on week 10. You're the one that made the pick.
No. You have at least
yourself and just said
at least 26% of the blame. At least a quarter and a penny.
A quarter and the penny is my fault.
At least enough of the blame to make a phone call in some states.
You could have saved yourself by just simply picking Hubbard. That's all you had to do.
Why would I pick Hubbard? They lost 34-0.
I'm just saying, you would have saved yourself. You would have saved Irishman. You would have saved all of it.
So you think he would have been okay with me if they lost? I picked them.
Yep.
So he wouldn't have blamed me for picking them in the jersey when I'm not rooting for them or whatever.
I think
he wouldn't have been mad at me still. I feel like no matter what, I would have been blamed for that loss.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're going to be blamed for that loss. That's why you had to wear it week 10.
You're getting 26%.
26%. I'll take 22.5. No,
we don't do that. No, 26. Quarter and a penny.
As we need to get more votes into the Big Dogs of the Valley. So final reminder, get out there and vote. Volleyball and football, Big Dogs of the Valley. You have until Sunday night. So get out there. Over 300,000 combined votes for both. So get out there, keep voting, get that vote total up. I know you get over.
I just want to take the time. We've made some additions to the studio, and you can't really see them on camera unless I turn it like this, but we got some Lisbon Rockin' jerseys. We got some East Palestine basketball jerseys. We are starting to really feel basketball season here in the studio at YSN. So we're rocking.
Yeah, and no doubt, and it's going to definitely be exciting as we're continuing basketball coverage and getting that basketball fever. It's almost November.
November 19th is when it starts, and here we are a couple of days out of October.
Yep. It's going to be here before we know it.
So that'll do it for today's episode of Running Point on ysnlive.com. Want to remind you that we have 4 basketball coaches on the slate tomorrow to kind of make up for today's lack of guests. But we will have Aaron Gilbert from Garfield, Will Franklin from East Palestine, Will Nieder from Struthers, and then Aaron Agresta from Valley Christian, all from 1 to 2.
Yep, and it's going to be a full day of basketball previews and then football picks first hours, so don't miss it. We're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Casual Sports Podcast coming up next from 2 to 3, and then the Power Hour will have you from 3 to 4. I'm Anthony Hartwig. That's Ty Bartell. We're taking a 22-hour break. We'll be back tomorrow.